like Russian invades US. I don't know, bro. I wanted to have some juice on the podcast.
The Elon Musk chip in their head, and they're all becoming, slaves and
Bro,
shit.
you don't want to put the chip from Elon Musk
Are
in
you
your head?
stupid?
Oh yeah, you want to put it in your ass. Welcome everyone to Fly Under the Radar. I'm Timothy. This is William, and you're watching Bro Talk. It's the show where we as brothers laugh, tell stories, and share our unique thoughts on this crazy world.
So what, now we're bro talk?
Well, that's what it's like. No, the name of the
Or is that
channel is Fly Under the Radar, but it's like brothers talk. You know what I mean?
Yeah, that makes sense. So,
It's more specific because you know what I mean. Like on the actual podcast episodes, it says brothers talk. You know what I mean? Like it's like brothers talk episode 9.
oh,
So the podcast is Fly Under the Radar, but it's like bro talk. You know what I mean?
yeah, that makes sense.
I don't know. I was trying something new. I think it makes sense, but what
Bro
about the
talk.
description of the show? Laugh, tell stories, and share our unique thoughts on this crazy world. Because I was thinking about it, like we could have went down the other road, where we actually go more in depth about Fly Under the Radar, and it's like we tell things that are like, you know.
Unrelated or unpopular or some shit?
But that's boring. You know what I mean? I just want to talk about whatever we want. For
Facts.
memes.
Facts.
Like, I don't care about some random history that happened like 100 years ago.
I guess so.
Well, you know, some history is interesting, but for the most part, if we do talk about history, maybe on the podcast we can talk about the pop in history. You know what I'm saying? Like the
Which
world
history?
wars. Woo!
What?
Bro, they
Bro
got
woke
clout,
up with energy
bro.
today, man.
Bro, they have clout.
What? World wars have clout?
So yeah, the World War One and World War Two. They got the most clout out of the wars. If you ask anyone about which war did they know, they say the World Wars.
Well, I think they have the most clout. It's because they're the world wars.
Exactly. But they technically weren't the World Wars before they happened. You know what I mean?
Well, the first war, World War One, when it was happening, people were calling it the Great War,
Mm-hmm.
right? Because they didn't know there was going to be a part two, like 20 or 30 years later. You know what I mean?
Part 2.
So
That's jokes.
they would call it the Great War, and then after once World War Two start, then they like, okay, that was World War One. This is the second war, the second Great War or whatever, right?
Exactly. So, you know, how we like to start the podcast, if you guys are new, is we like to start it with a bit of wisdom of the week, more kind of reflection of the week. I don't know how we want to kind of title it. Should I start or would you like to start today, sir?
Now you can go ahead.
All right, so basically with wisdom of the week, something that happened with us this week. And for me, something that happened was, it wasn't really anything specific moments, but like I was listening to some stuff and I heard a quote and it was kind of like, damn, you know? And the quote went like, wait, let me find it here. If you never failed, you're not even trying. You know, I feel like we kind of go back to this a lot on the podcast, but I feel like it's good to kind of repeat. And it's kind of revolves around risk. And again, people are really afraid of this word when it's like, you know, kind of falling down. You know what I mean? It's like when I like the best example as a bike. When you first ride your bike, you're probably most likely 99% of the time going to fall down. You know what I mean? But that's just kind of how it is. You know what I mean? It's like you're not going to be a professional. You're not going to win the, what is it called? The Tour de France for the first time riding your bike. You're going to have to get on the bike, fall down, lose a couple times before you even get close to winning. So I thought that was something that stuck with me and thought it would be interesting to share with you today.
Oh, yeah, I think it goes back to what I said last time, where it's like the wise man falls 7 times but gets up 8, right?
Mm-hmm.
Where you like, if you keep like, because I'm gonna be kind of like sharing like a personal. When I was younger, like everyone has fears, right? Now I'm not scared of anything because I'm the man. But when I was younger, my biggest fear. Well, okay, I had two biggest fears. The first one was height, because like who wasn't afraid of like
Yeah, because you were short.
Well, yeah, because I was like 8 or some shit. No shit, I was short too, right?
Bro, just like get tall.
I did.
Bro,
I'm
you're
6 foot
like
now.
you're literally like 5'9.5".
No, I'm not. So the first fear was height, but then the second fear that I had was the fear of failure. For some reason, I just hated failing.
Because
I had this expectation
school.
of, well, I
Because
guess so.
school is like when you fail, it's bad and you get punished for it.
Well, I think that's the problem with like how society sees things, where it's like you have to have a clean slate, you have perfect marks, have the degree, have like clean record here, clean there, and everything, and it's like you got to live this perfect life without failing, right?
Yeah.
But any like successful individual or like athlete that made it, or anyone will say that they've failed multiple times before they actually succeeded. So
100%, sir. 100%.
so yeah, once I realized that like failing wasn't a bad thing, it like opened up my eyes to the world, where it's like, you know what, I can try stuff, fail it, and if I want to keep going and keep trying to like, because if it's something I want to do, I can do it. Or if I fail and it's like, you know what, man, I did the best that I could, maybe like this is not for me, because like not everything is for everyone in this world, right? So
Yeah,
I think it's really good to
is
like
good. Failing is
Well,
good
yeah.
because it gives you knowledge.
Yes.
Because
And
once
experience.
once you get that knowledge, let's say you want to start a business because you're like, you know what, maybe you want to start a business. You try it out and it's not really for you, but you like the aspect of business, so you start a different business. Sure, the business you started didn't work out, but at least you know now that's not the business you want to do, and you want to do a different type of business. Or if you don't want to do business at all.
Yeah, or just what you're good at too, right? Because everyone has their strengths and weaknesses, right? So you might make one business, I don't know, fucking being a bricklayer or some shit, like making like brick walls or houses or shit, right? But then it's like that didn't pan out, so then you try something else. Do you know what I mean?
Mm-hmm.
And that panned out, right? So yeah.
So is that your wisdom of the week as well, or are you just panning off of what I said?
No, I think that's mine as well.
Really?
Where it's like, I think mine is like yours is like the getting up part, and mine is like the failure thing. Like don't like my wisdom is like don't be afraid of failure.
Well, that was kind of my point. It was.
What do you mean?
Well, that was the quote. It was, if you never failed, you're not even trying. So you're still.
Well, you're saying that failure is like necessary.
Yes, 100%.
I'm saying to not be afraid of failure. Right.
Well, I guess those are kind of go hand in hand. You know what I mean?
True, but they're two unique things, right?
Mhm.
Because just because you say that failure is necessary, people might be scared of failing due to social circumstances, or like letting down their family, or like other people that like does like what I mean, like that type of stuff. It's like not be afraid of that, because like in life you have to grow and make mistakes. You know what I mean? So
Yeah, and I also had another thing that came up this week that I was really kind of thinking about, and it was kind of the difference between working harder and smarter.
okay.
And it's not like I didn't know what it was, like everyone knows like working hard and working smart, but it really kind of like I kind of really thought about it, like kind of reflected on it. And the main thing is like there's no such thing as working hard. Like you can't outwork someone because we all get the same amount of hours in the day. You know what I mean? So it's not that we're working harder than other people. It's that you're working smarter than other people. And I know as I said, I already kind of knew that. But the main point I'm trying to get at is that it's not about necessarily how much you do, but like what you do. Because I feel like there's a stigma, especially in this day and age. You have to work 12 hours, 15 hours a day to get what you want. But technically, that's not exactly true, because you can be working 12, 15 hours and getting no work done. You can just be doing mindless tasks. Whereas if you're working smarter, sure, maybe you're still working like 9 to 10 hours, but you're actually using your time wisely and getting things done. you know?
Yeah, I have this little like story metaphor I always like to tell people, where it's like there's two lumberjacks in the forest, right? And they're both cutting wood. Lunchtime comes around, and one of the lumberjacks says, "Hey, I'm gonna go take lunch, and I'm gonna go sharpen my blade." Right. The other lumberjack says, "No, we don't have time for lunch. We got to cut down all this wood and stuff." So one of the lumberjacks goes, rests, sharpens his blade, and then afterwards ends up cutting more wood than the guy who just stayed with the dull blade. Right. So that kind of shows that, in my opinion, that like you need to work smarter and not harder, and also take breaks. Because if you try pumping out, 12-hour shifts, 14-hour shifts, right, and you're just mindlessly going, your quality of work, because it's not about quantity, it's about quality. Your quality will be decreasing the longer you work. So if you take that break, sharpen your blade, like rest your mind. So when you come back, you will be able to just do what you need to do. This actually happens a lot with programming, right? And everyone who programs will like know this. When there's a problem that you're stuck on, and you literally code for like 8 hours, and you're stuck at this one thing, and you don't know how to fucking code it, and you're trying everything, and you're just like, oh, you know what, fuck it, I'm just gonna go to sleep, and tomorrow morning I'm gonna like figure it out. I swear on Christ, dude, every time I've done that, I wake up in the morning, I solve that problem in like 20 minutes. Instead of like trying to waste another hour, 2 hours of like not sleeping to try to solve the problem.
Yeah.
I sharpen my blade. You rest your mind, because your mind is like an organ. Like you're basically like, you need rest. You know what I mean? Like you need to like, you can't be hyper focused on one topic for like, like 8, 10, 12 hours. You know what I mean? Without like losing some of it.
For sure. And I think it depends on the person as well,
Well, sure, some people can like do more than others.
Yeah.
But I'm saying that everyone should be sharpening their blade. Right.
100%. 100%. And there you go, guys. There's kind of a bit of wisdom, kind of our reflection of the week. Hopefully you guys can use that information well and help you guys out in your day to day. So now let's get on to the question of the week. So this actually comes from one of our friends who left a comment on the episode.
Let's go. Shout out to you, brother.
Dem Oreos. So if you guys want to be in the next episode, be sure to leave a comment for question of the week. So the question goes, would you rather travel 20 years into the future or 20 years into the past, and why? I think we answered something similar to that a few episodes ago, but let me hear what your thoughts. 20 years in the past or 20 years in the future? If you could only choose one.
Past.
And I think it says visit, right?
Is it visit or you?
Or travel. So we got to specify. Is it we travel and we stay there? Do we travel and we come back? Like a visit? Or
Okay.
What do we think?
If we travel and we stay there, I'm going back to the past. Back to the future. Right.
Good one. That's a great movie. But
It is. But I'm going back to the past if I'm staying there. If it's a visit, I'm going to the future 100%.
Ooh, okay. I can see that because, if you're going... I think the thought process behind that is if it's if it's a permanent, you don't want to go 20 years into the future because you're going to lose, a lot of your friends, a lot of your family.
Fuck my friends, dude. No, that's not the reason, okay? If I go 20 years into the past, there's no internet, right? There's literally like nothing, none of the shit, right? And I'll have the knowledge of the future so I can build my life properly.
Bro, have you not
Right.
seen Back to the Future? With what is his name, Bill or whatever, who got the sports playbook and then started.
Well, look
taking
at him. He
over the
became
world?
a pimp, bro.
So you're gonna become a pimp, fam?
Nah. But no, I would go back because it's just because society was better in the sense of like there was actually like morals, so I could actually start a family, not be worried about like the crazy world we live in and all the politics that's happening now. Now, if I want to travel, I'd travel to the future so I could figure out like, is Bitcoin going up or down in the future?
Shut
And then I come back and what do you mean?
Bro, like that's just so cringe.
How is
fam.
it? Would you not go to the future, see how investments become, and then come back? And you can realize, oh shit, the housing market crashed in Canada in 2025 or some shit. And you know when you come back that in that year you would buy a house or some shit.
Yeah, but life's so boring when you know what's gonna happen.
But that's the nature of this fucking question, bro.
No, it's not. That's not the nature of the question.
Then what's the nature of the question?
The nature of the question is, where would you travel to? What would you do? And you're only thinking about making some money. And sure, who wouldn't want to make some money?
Well,
but
no, I
like-
would make some. No, if I went to the future, I'd want to go to see what would happen, right? You know what I mean? Because like if like North America becomes a war zone, well, now I gotta move somewhere else. You know what I'm saying?
Mhm.
Like it's more of like if I look into the future, it's like okay, this is what the world's gonna turn into. How can I like protect myself and my family and friends and shit?
Yeah, but this kind of goes to the question of like, would you rather know when you're gonna die or when you're gonna die? You know what I mean? Or no, know how you're gonna die or know when you're gonna die. It's kind of like one of those questions because it's like if you kind of know how everything's gonna turn out, then it kind of like defeats the purpose of playing the game. It's like watching a movie and you know how the movie ends. It's kind of like you kind of ruin the movie.
Not really.
What do you mean, not really?
Okay, like this. When I used to play like Souls games, like Dark Souls and shit, right? I would never I'd always research like where to go beforehand, right? I'd never like explore on my own because that shit was scary as fuck. But like I would basically like if I'm able to know the end of something, I'll like figure out the end. Unless it's like a new movie, I'm like, okay, I'll watch the movie. But I'm the type of person that like, because even like for math problems, the way I learned math problems is okay, this is the answer. And I work backwards from the answer from the equation.
Yeah, but that's totally different.
It's the same
from
thing.
Life.
If
man.
I understand the final answer to how to make money in like 10 years, then I will go backwards to here and figure out and
Yeah, but
implement
that
it,
would be
right?
so boring.
But
like,
that's how you get the answer.
You know the answer to the question, then what's the point?
Of what?
Just life at that point. You already know what's gonna happen, so you're just kind of just living. It's kind of just
Doesn't
like
mean you can enjoy life just because you know what's gonna happen, bro.
I don't know. That's a bit more. I feel like that's more of a debate for the whole podcast, but let's go back to the main question. So let's just say you would visit. So I would probably visit the future as well. We would visit the future 20 years. But it would definitely be cool to go back to the past to see how it was. Like imagine you just see your old self as a kid.
What do you?
That would be
I
cool.
guess 20 years ago we would see yours. Well,
I guess technically we're still young, so if it was like 10 or 15 years, then that would be probably more ideal because we're still
10
young.
years in the past, that would be wild, dude. Just seeing myself. like at,
Actually,
like 14 years old.
actually rizzing up all the chicks, bro. Anyways,
That was the biggest cap ever, bro. Don't know.
how is that cap, bro? You never saw me rizzing up any girls.
Because you never did.
That's debatable.
No, it's
That's
fucking not, dude.
All right. Well, let's get to our topic of the week. So I was kind of having a bit of trouble because, again, with this podcast, I'm still trying to figure everything out. So I was just thinking about, like, what do I want to talk about this week? And something I was thinking about this week that I thought was an interesting topic was kind of the internet and the evolution. And not necessarily just the evolution of the internet, but specifically the question of how will the world run when everyone wants to do stuff on the internet? That's kind of like the question, and then we can kind of move around from there. Because I feel like everyone nowadays wants to be on the internet, wants to make money from the internet, like doesn't want to go to work at a 9 to 5. And how is that going to translate into the real world? I'm not saying that it's going to happen instantly because there's always going to be people working like 9 to 5s and stuff like that. But I feel like this next generation especially is going to want to do a lot of stuff on the internet that, there's already like a lack of like plumbers, engineers, electricians, like just trade jobs. Like it's going down. You know what I mean? And how, like, what is the solution to kind of that problem, or how is that going to turn out? Just an open-ended question there.
Well, one, I do not think that every single person is going to want to work online. I don't think that's a thing.
You don't?
No. No, dude. People like to work with their hands, man.
I think, but the thing is, like, the new generations is all gonna be online, fam.
Not necessarily, man.
I would say a big majority.
Sure, a big majority of people would want to do but that's because the society is telling people to go to university and get fucking psychology degrees instead of like going to college to become a plumber or electrician. That's just society's that it's looked down upon, which is retarded because when you fucking go, this kids that getting psych degrees are fucking working at Starbucks while the plumber who has an apprenticeship is making 100K a year.
Like, I think the most sought after jobs in like the next 20 years is gonna be like plumbers, electricians.
They're already there, man.
Like, no, like they're gonna be like, you know how now everyone's like, oh, you can be a millionaire by working on the internet. It's gonna be like, yeah, you can be a millionaire by being a plumber. It's gonna be like the opposite. It's gonna flip.
I mean,
there's gonna be a lack of people.
I mean, that just goes. I think it goes back to economics, man. Because like, if there's a lack of people in an industry,
damn, man's really going to supply and demand.
But it's the truth. What do you think What do you think right now? If you want to get a plumber to come in to just look at your fucking toilet, it's like $100 just for him to fucking come and look at it. The guy doesn't even. He just goes ting 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 ting, looks inside the toilet, $100, $120 just for showing up. You know what I mean?
Bro, but how does there's like a shit stain on the toilet? Do you have to pay extra for that?
I'm going to ignore that. So, I just don't see a world, and especially like since construction right now is like really big in Canada. They're trying to get people into construction. Like, even when I used to work construction, like a couple years ago, like I had people like coming up to me, yo, here's my card, yo, if you just leave this guy, come work with me instead, I'll give you like an extra $1 per hour and shit. Like, even like finding young kids as like helpers who have no experience, they're like trying to like snipe these kids off, you know what I mean, just so that they can have more help for their business and shit, you know what I mean. So I don't think that everyone will want to be on the internet. I think the internet is a big influence for what people do, but people need to make a living. And
I think the biggest switch is going to be for remote work in the next few years as well. Like, it's already happening, but like, I think it's more efficient as well, remote work. Instead of actually going into an office, going on, the laptops there and then doing work from there. Like, sure, it's a good environment. I think there's going to be more home offices. There's going to be more people working from home because a lot of businesses can just be digital. Like, people can go on Zoom. People can, go on business meetings from there. Like, everything can be turned digital. Like, what's the main things that a business needs their employees to be, like, in-house? Other than, like, a construction or plumbing or stuff like that. Like, is there really anything?
But if you're like manufacturing, then you have to be in-house to make the product. So, like, the only thing that can be online is like services.
So with manufacturing, like, can you be more specific? Because with manufacturing, why can't robots just do the manufacturing, for example? Like, what?
Because robot technology is poo-poo, my guy. This is not like the robotics that you see. Like, sure, assembly line robotics is like good enough to where they can like mass produce cars, but you still need engineers on site to make sure these robots don't like you think it's just gonna be an empty warehouse with just robots there. Like, it's already like getting to that point with like the conveyor belts and stuff, but you still have engineers on site. It's not what it was like 100 years ago where you have people on the assembly line building shit.
Mm-hmm.
Like, those people got replaced by robots.
Yeah.
But I think it's already gotten to the point where it's like it's been maxed out, because like you can't just have like an empty warehouse with 0 people inside and just robots doing stuff.
Mm-hmm.
Everything remotely.
I saw this video the other day. When I mean the other day, I mean like a few months ago, where this guy was talking about. I don't know if you saw this clip where basically he was like, if everyone was taught science and like technology and math, and everyone worked for the next 5 years on developing technology, that everyone could retire in 10 years and have technology just be running everything. Do you know what I mean? Like if everyone's main focus was on developing new science.
That's the dumbest thing I've heard. How can you just like, okay, sure, maybe in a utopia world that could happen, but like what, the farmers are just gonna like not produce food during that time? We won't have people produce vehicles or make, have oil, like people go and like dig up oil for our power and stuff. Like those people are just gonna be focused on technology. Like we're just gonna sacrifice all of society just so that we can be lazy fucks and like have the chance because of like trying to like make robots do everything for us.
Shout out Wally.
Like that does not make sense.
I
Like,
think they need to find a way to make it more, what's the word? Not like interested, but like people want to do this sort of thing because people are not necessarily motivated or like pushed towards those certain things. Like
for what?
like to become an engineer, to become
Yes,
a scientist.
yes, bro. People are pushed into that.
How?
That's why we have a lack of plumbers, electricians, and stuff. Because all these people are fucking going to become engineers. And my buddy is an engineer, and he can't find a job because there's too many engineers, and they want people doing office jobs with an engineering degree.
Really?
Yes.
Oh, shot.
Like all this, like, and the thing is, there's so many people going into like sciences and all this stuff because it's like seen as like well, it's seen as like you can make a profit in it, which you can, but no, it's not what you think, bro. Like, and then what do you mean pushing more people into this stuff? We need more people doing construction, more people doing hands-on labor, more people building our society. Going and like getting oil and like. Do you know there's a lot of jobs that are like hard jobs that people don't want to do?
Yeah.
Like even like crane operator. Those fuckers make like $140. These fuckers make $140 an hour sitting up there. That's crazy. That's not even overtime or anything, dude. Just for sitting in there. All you need is like, I think you need some kind of like course just so you understand like the physics of like how like the things move up and down and stuff.
Obviously.
But
it's probably like a driver's license.
yeah, like there's a lot of jobs. See, this is why like I'm not going to get into this because the economy of Canada is kind of poo-poo, but there's like a lot of opportunities. There's a lot of jobs that people don't want to, like even like garbage man. They make like $100,000 a year just for driving around taking up people's garbage.
Bro, $100K to pick up garbage? Why not?
But you see what I mean? Like, there's like, but the reason why it's $100K is because people don't want to do that, right? They're undesirable jobs. Like even like an underwater welder, they make a lot of money.
Okay, but like, who the fuck wants to be an underwater
Nobody.
welder?
That's why it's so expensive,
Nah, that's
and it's
trash.
dangerous too.
No, obviously, bro.
You know what I mean? But there is like jobs and opportunities for people to do and stuff. But the thing is that our society is pushing people towards this like soy boy fucking, stupid ass like fucking like there's nothing wrong with like remote work or online stuff because I want to do that and I'm like a programmer and stuff, and I do that type of like office work stuff too. But like just because I do this stuff doesn't mean if I didn't do programming I'd probably be in construction. You know what I mean? Like I do not demoralize people who are like blue collar workers.
No, nobody should demoralize them.
But that's what society does.
Yeah, because society's cringe, bro.
And that's how people see it. It's like, oh, you're a landscaper? Like, I'm better than you because I fucking sit in an office with air conditioning or some shit. But that's how it is.
Nah, that's
We're just like fucked.
troll. Yeah.
You know what I mean? Now, the reason why, going back to your question, that I think people want to work online or over the internet more than in person is one is because the youth is antisocial, right? Two, because people see influencers and that make millions and they're like, oh, I want to like do that too.
Bro, it's so
You know what I mean?
insane because it's like those people make actually disgusting amounts of money.
Right, but it's like because they do online stuff.
Yeah. And it's like
But the thing
so
is
much
that
more attractive to do that than to do anything else. Like who wouldn't want to be a Twitch streamer playing video games all day, making like 6 figures a year, and then instead of like working hard labor, sweating, in pain, uncomfortable, making maybe I don't know how many they make. Do they make 6 figures as well? Construction workers or no?
the fucker who holds the sign makes like 40 an hour, bro. So
So probably somewhere from like 70 to 100.
yeah,
Like
depending on what exactly you do, right?
So it just like it's just not attractive for many people. And the thing is, it's like, especially now we have so many opportunities. It's like so easy for anyone to do anything now. It's like if you wanna do stuff online, you can do it. If you don't want to, if you wanna do construction, you can do it. So it's like if you have two options and you can do both, you're gonna choose the one that's more, that you would prefer to do.
Yeah, that's fine, but I'm saying over time, the supply and demand
Yeah, it's not
will
sustainable.
will get too bad to the point where it's like, why would I become a YouTuber? I could just go into construction and make 3 times the money, right?
Yes, and the thing is, like, as time goes on, these jobs and all these things online becomes more and more competitive. Like to become a YouTuber now versus like 5 years ago, you have to be a lot better. You have to have better editing. You have to have better content. You have to have all
Or
these
you need
better
to figure
things.
out the algorithm, all this other shit, right?
So, as time goes on, the market becomes harder to enter. So it could just be that it might just get to a point where becoming a YouTuber is impossible because you're just competing with people that's been doing it for so long, and that the option of becoming like working in construction is more attractive because the barrier to entry is just a lot easier. So that could also happen. But have you seen the movie Ready Player One?
No, that's that movie where people go VR and they work in the virtual world or in
Yeah.
the metaverse or some shit.
So basically, the whole world is like a garbage dump, like not necessarily like garbage, but like metal and like scrap like that, and like the whole world is set up in VR, and it's kind of like weird because it's like, how does any of this actually work? Because you can't have a sustainable society like that because you're always gonna need the plumbers, the electricians.
Well, you have a physical body.
Yeah.
You will need to go poo poo and pee pee and all this shit.
Poo pee pee.
Poo poo pee pee, bro. You're gonna have to go to the washroom. You're gonna have to go and, make your food to eat, bro. IRL, dude. You gotta go touch grass, IRL, and sniff the roses to get your oxygen. You know what I'm
Okay.
saying?
But is there a point where everything can be done by technology? Like houses can be built by robots, or
No.
plumbing can be done by technology, like some, not necessarily robot, but I don't know, some sort of technology. Or do you think it's always gonna be, has to be like done by humans? Like I think there's probably a level of, they'll make it as time goes on. I think everything becomes easier and easier. So like I think the technology gets better, so I think toilet plumbing becomes better, so it becomes easier for plumbers to do plumbing.
Yeah, but just because the technologies get better for the toilet, someone still has to install the toilet. You know what I mean? Like, someone's got to put the toilet in the house. Someone has to put the studs in the house, put the wood, drill through the wood, put the electrical wires. Like, someone's got to do this. Right. And what? You gonna get some robot to put in electrical wires? Dude, like, if they fuck up or get shocked, well, guess what?
Do you mean fuck up? How are they gonna fuck up?
What do you mean?
They probably have a higher success rate than humans.
Who?
Robot.
At what?
Just everything. Like when it comes to like, even now with cars, they have like the fucking auto park or whatever. You think it's more likely for the auto park to fuck up than a human it is to hit someone?
Bro, don't even get started with like the auto park or the the cruise driving and shit, because there's been so much like bugs with that shit. Like, see, the thing is with computers, there can be bugs. Sure, people might have mental illnesses or stuff and have bugs in their head, and they can't fucking do simple shit too, right? But I still I don't know. I still rather trust the person behind the wheel than a fucking car.
I never said you have to trust the robot. Like,
Okay,
more
but
than
if
a
they want to
human.
build the house, then you gotta trust the robots to build the house. But back to the point, it's like robot technology is not there. You know, iRobot with Will Smith, dude. It will not get to that part, though. It will
Well,
not
in
happen.
our
to that.
lifetime, for sure, definitely not.
I don't know if it will. Like,
There
they're
has to be. There's no way, especially with the exponential growth of technology in the past like 20 years. Like, if you ask somebody in 1990, like the technology, like how they think technology is going to advance or whatever, they probably wouldn't have predicted this. You know what I mean?
Yeah, man, but like we're stagnating right now with the technology. We had the tech boom, and now we're stagnating. We can't make microchips any more smaller. We're down to the atom level. There's no more, there's no more like depth we can get to that. Like, processors are getting as good as they can. Like, we're reaching the physical limits of what our hardware can do. So it's not like we can just like magically make our processor even better and better and better without sacrificing other stuff. You know what I mean?
Okay, so okay, if you could choose one thing to be like technologically advanced that you wouldn't have to really like think about or worry about or do, what would you choose? Like, for example, going back to the toilet, like if the toilet was self-sufficient, never had to be fixed or anything like that, what would you choose to make it so technologically advanced that you would never have to think about it fixing?
Well, okay, one, there's no such thing as never has to be fixed. Because everything in this world degrades. So it doesn't matter how perfect something is. You
But
still gotta.
this is a hypothetical scenario, my G.
Okay, but if we're talking about what ifs, then I can just say what if anything, bro.
yeah, but
It has to be based in reality. Right?
it can be literally anything you want, bro.
Like a technology that I want to happen.
You could create beer that's self-replenishing.
Okay, now we're just talking about fantasy world stuff.
Can we just like take a break for a second and just have some like fun? You know, it doesn't all have to be serious, my G. We can have some fun here.
Okay, so then. Okay, whatever. We had a serious conversation about something, and now we're talking about some fantasy shit. Okay, what's the fantasy that we're talking about?
If
What
you
was the
could,
question?
if you could choose one technology where it could be so perfect that it would never have to be fixed, changed, or, you know, like it's basically self-sufficient technology, what technology would you choose? And obviously not like something in like the human body, because I feel like, that has to be like a restriction. I'm saying more about like, I don't know, maybe like a TV or something, or like a refrigerator that never breaks, something like that. Like, what's something you use every day that you're like, bro, if this worked all the time, that would be lit.
I don't know, bro. Most shit in my life like works.
Bro. All right, let me answer this question. So for me, I think it would definitely have to be, honestly, I think it would be storage. Like, if I could just have infinite amount of storage without like, having to pay extra, or like having the
But storage for what?
like my phone, my computer, like if it broke, it would still be there. Like, if everything else broke, the storage would always just be like safe and secure. I think that would be pretty lit. Because I feel like there's all these like cloud storage, all these different things that just kind of cringe. I think that would be pretty
But-
cool.
Do you understand what cloud storage is or no?
Yeah. It's like storage that's stored on the servers.
Right.
Yeah.
But you know why it's stored on a external server?
so
So it
if
can
you
replicate infinite storage.
Yeah, but I don't want the government to have my stuff.
Okay, but then that goes back to what I'm saying, like back to the seriousness of like what we were talking about with the technology and stuff. Like, you can only get so much RAM on your device because there's also only so much physical space that you can like store. and
Exactly.
stuff.
That's why I wanted the hypothetical scenario. Imagine if you could have infinite RAM, my G. That would be lit.
Would it though?
It would.
How would that scale though?
Exponentially. Bro, I don't know. Can you just have some fun here, brother? All right, let's do another hypothetical situation. If you got sent to space, what technology would you need to survive up there? Not necessarily what technology. What would you bring up there other than the technology I meant to say? It's like
To space?
yeah.
A camera.
Why would you say that, sir?
Huh?
Why?
What do you mean, dude? To prove that the Earth is round, dude. Come on, like.
Okay. Do you want to get into this or do you want to move on, sir?
No, we can move on, bro.
Okay. Well, yeah, going back to the main question, which was talking about civilization and then the internet and stuff like that.
We're going, yeah, of like why everyone wants to work online, which I agree with, right?
Mhm.
Like people do want to work online or at home or remote and shit, but I just don't think it's feasible for everyone to do it.
No, of course not. I guess one final question we can kind of talk about, which I think can be a bit of a juicer. So, obviously with all these people wanting jobs on the internet and stuff like that, when or what do you think will be the breaking point where people are like, "Oh shit. We got to actually like we got to actually do other shit than just work online." Or like and when that happens, what is the solution to that? Do you get the question or you want me to rephrase it?
You can, I think I understand it.
Like at one point, if in our a generation or maybe the next generation, do you think that's going to happen? And then what's the breaking point going to be like? When this happens, they're going to be like, "Fuck."
I mean, to be honest, I think it's already there, man.
No shot.
Well, yeah, because okay, look, not everyone can afford to just stay at home and work online or try and start their own business, dude. Some people, like in America, 57% of people live paycheck to pay. Well, no, that's a lie. 57% of people don't have $1,000 in their savings account, which basically means that they live paycheck to paycheck.
Yeah, that's crazy.
Do you understand that? So people can't afford to try stuff. Some people can, but a majority of people can't. So they have to get a job. They have to, work 9 to 5, and so they can support themselves and their families and stuff. So I think this idea of everyone just wants to work on the internet and people are just going to stop doing regular work to do it is not true. People want to work on the internet? Yes. Is it feasible for 90% of people? No.
Okay, then my question goes to, let's say in a hypothetical world we get to that scenario where everyone is working on the internet and then there's so much lack in everything else that society.
So like that movie Ready Hero 1 or whatever the fuck it is.
Ready Player One, I guess kind of, but like they don't really talk about that too much in the movies. Let's say that it gets to that point. What do you think the government has to implement so that society can kind of fix itself? Like for me, thinking about that, I think it goes back. I guess I don't want to say you got to kind of take away freedom, but there has to be like certain things in life that people have to go through. So like for example, school is for the most part like mandatory. For the most part, it's not necessarily mandatory, but it's like every parent wants their kid to go to school, at least graduate high school.
Mm-hmm.
I'm thinking like after high school, there's a certain period of time that they have to work some sort of job, some sort of physical labor. Because I think when you're young, it's, first of all, people when are young can do more physical labor. And there's a lot of people that, and it's a good experience as well. So I think for a certain amount of time, you have to work like either construction, maybe fast food, maybe you have to work one of those jobs. You know what I mean? Like, I'm not saying you can't do anything else on the side, but you have to work a certain job for a certain period of time. Like with school, you can do other shit, like after school. It's the same thing with that. A certain period of time is set for working in society.
So I would have to disagree with you on the point, like the original point, where if, let's say, 90% of people are working online and like the government might have to do something about it. I think if it got to that point, I don't think the government would have to do anything about it. Because markets would be so screwed up and that there'll be so many like holes to fill that the market will just fix itself. Because if there's such a lack of plumbers, construction workers and all these types of, individuals, people who want to make money will go into that. They'll quit their internet job and do that to make money. Because if there is a service or product that people need, like we need these people. Yeah. People need houses to live in. They need buildings. They need malls. They need, garages. They need like schools, like community centers.
Yeah, okay,
government buildings.
I get it. Yeah.
So
if there's a hole, the supply and the demand thing.
If there's a hole,
yeah,
it will be filled. Right.
Yeah, alright, that makes sense. That's kind of the boring answer, but it's the one that makes the most sense. I thought you were going to be more creative, fam.
Well, what do you mean? What do you want me to say?
Bro, I don't know, like,
that fucking
Russia invades
by
US.
That point.
I don't know, bro. I wanted to have some juice on the podcast.
Well, what do you want to say? Oh, by that point, if, 9% of people on the internet, that means everyone has, the Elon Musk chip in their head, and they're all becoming, slaves and shit.
Bro, you don't want to put the chip from Elon Musk in your head?
Are you stupid?
Oh, yeah, you want to put it in your ass. Okay, let's play our games for today. So I only have one game today because I didn't have too much time to prepare any other ones. And we're going to call this game, we've played it before, Unpopular Opinions. Dun, dun, dun. So if you guys don't know how it works, I'm going to give William an unpopular opinion, something I found on Reddit. And then William's going to say if he agrees or disagrees with this opinion. Alright. Unpopular opinion. Men who leave after finding out a child is not theirs are unfairly vilified.
Unfairly vilified. That means like they're like they hit it on for no reason, right?
Yeah.
Okay. Here's the deal with this shit, okay?
Well, first of all, do you agree or disagree with this statement?
It's situational. So I'm like on the fence with this, right? It depends, right? So but that's like the stupid answer. No.
That's what they want to hear. The stupid answer.
Okay. If you decide to sleep with someone else, right? You do understand that sex is for reproduction. I understand people do it for fun, but like you mainly have sex to reproduce, right? So, if you decide to have sex, then you need to bear the consequences and the responsibility for that, right?
Yeah.
Now, since we live in this day and age, if a woman gets pregnant, right? If she decides, well, okay, that's like fucking...
Yo, do you want to give us an answer?
If a woman gets pregnant, yes, then the man should take responsibility for the child. So the guy shouldn't leave and they should get married like they should do in the old days, right? But since in this new age, people want to get abortions, and kill babies.
Yeah, but that's not the question.
But I gotta say this to explain my point.
Okay,
right?
Man.
See, if the woman has the right to decide if the child lives or dies, then the man should have the right to choose if he wants to raise or not raise the child.
Yeah, but it's not his child.
What do you mean it's not his child?
Did you not hear it? Men who leave after finding out a child is not theirs.
Oh, I completely,
Bro,
I
what are
completely
you
fucked up, dude.
talking about? This guy's a freaking idiot, man. I'm like,
No,
what are you
I
talking
heard
about? Okay.
I heard that the man leaves when he
Let's go.
finds out the woman is pregnant. Okay.
What are you talking? We're going to the next question.
No. We should.
No. Shut the fuck up. We're moving on. You just fucked it up. Unpopular opinion: gym clothing shouldn't be revealing.
Should or should not?
Shouldn't.
No.
You disagree with
I
this
disagree 100% with this. But for men only. Okay. You women better fucking cover up.
So-
Okay. No. Okay, listen. Women, you go to the gym, wear your fucking booty shorts, fucking record yourself, and then you see a guy staring and you fucking vilify him online, bro.
Bro, that's
Fuck you, bitch. Okay, straight up. No, women should not fucking wear booty shorts to the gym. Okay? Now, men. I love working out fucking shirtless, bro. I fucking love it, dude. Looking myself in the mirror with a pump on, dude. I fucking need it, dude.
what kind of pump?
With my muscles, bro. What the
Oh.
fuck? What kind of pump you think, dude?
Bro,
Okay.
I don't know what you do in the gym.
He's not a gym bro. He doesn't understand gym bro talk. It's okay. So,
All right, let's go to the next question. All right.
nah, dude.
Unpopular opinion.
If you have your own gym like I do, wherever the fuck you want. You go to an actual gym, like, wear modestly, bro. Okay? Unless, I never wear modest. I always wear fucking stringer, though. But that's because I'm big.
Unpopular opinion: it's okay if you're 25 plus and never been in a relationship.
Is it okay? Sure, it's okay. Is it ideal? No. Right? I think that,
Okay, but what do you mean by okay? Let's define that.
like, I don't think you're a fucking narc if you don't get in a relationship before 25. Right? You might have different, everyone has different, like, shit happening in their life. Maybe you couldn't because you had family situation, or you had other responsibilities, or, like,
It's not the end of the world, basically.
yeah, it's not the end of the world, right?
Because
Now,
I see a lot of women on like TikTok and stuff, like, those interviews and stuff. And then some questions sometimes I see is like, oh, if a guy hasn't dated and he's over the age of like 22 or 23, is that like a red flag or whatever? And they always say it's a red flag, which it's kind of sus, but are their opinions valid?
oh, dude, they're stupid. So, like, what do you want me to say, dude? Like, they're dumb whores, dude. Okay.
Okay.
Like, they don't know what the fuck they're talking about. But, so, I think that as a dude, you should, like, just ask girls out for the fuck of it. I do believe that. So you get rid of this fucking stigma of, oh, I'm scared, or of rejection, right? Because a lot of guys are scared of rejection. Just, there's this study that says guys who have an IQ over 120 are worse with women than men who have an IQ less than 80. You know what that tells me? Is that you guys overthink shit, bro. Stop overthinking, dude. If you want to go out, like, I don't know what she's going to say. You never know if you don't ask her. Fucking just do it, bro. Like, I'm full Adidas guy, but, like, the Nike logo kind of slaps. Like, just do it. Like, just go fucking do it. Just ask her, bro. Out.
All right.
If she says yes, then great. If not, then fuck it, dude. Go ask someone else, dude. Like, you don't have to be in a relationship. Just, like, talk and get experience with them. Right? But it's, like, it's not the end of the world if you don't. But I think, my recommendation is you just fucking do it.
Unpopular opinion: nobody is truly self-made.
That's a fact, dude,
Elaborate.
Well, you don't get anything on this earth unless God gives it to you. So, as a Christian, I believe that I'm not self-made, that God made me and everything. So whatever benefits or success I have in my life is due to Him, not me on my own. So anyone who thinks, oh, I did everything on my own, it's like, okay, bro.
Okay.
Good for you.
I think. Okay, well, I'm gonna be the guy that wrote this unpopular opinion. I don't think he was talking necessarily about God. I think because each Reddit post they have like a small description, so I read it, and I think his thing was that like nobody is truly self-made because you have to work with other people to get where you want to go in life. You know what I mean? Like, if you want to be successful, you're gonna have to work and not necessarily use other people, but like technically use other people to like get where you want to go. You know what I mean? Like, it's not using in the sense of like you're using them, but it's using them like as a gateway. You know what I mean?
Well, okay, yeah. Self-made, like that idea is dumb because everyone is influenced by everyone else anyway. And like, let's say you want to become an athlete, well, you need a coach. You need someone to teach you the game. You need someone to teach you about life, bro. Because you don't just spawn in this world and have like the fucking inventory or the game like thing you can just read about life. You gotta like figure it out on your own and talk to people who are older and have more experience in different fields than you, so you can learn yourself and put your own twist on life, you know. So
All right. Final unpopular opinion. Relationships are better than careers. True or false? Or true or like disagree? Agree or disagree?
yes and no.
Nope. Agree or disagree?
Well,
Agree or disagree?
yo, is it okay if I be sexist for a minute?
No. We are not sexist. We love everyone.
Well, not that I'm sexist. Can I say something sexist?
Bro, it's your image, fam. Why are you asking me if you
Okay.
can say something sexist?
Since I believe men and women are different, okay,
Well, that's fact.
right? They're different. I believe for a woman, a relationship is more important. And for a man, a career is more
I
important.
don't think that's sexist.
Well, in this day and age, you know, everything's fucking sexist.
Yeah, true.
Right. So that's why I'm saying that, right? Because for a man, men are better with like things and tools, while women are better with like relationships and like, you know, dealing with people, right? So
Well, I don't know. It's like I agree, but I disagree at the same time. It's like it's not. I don't think it's that black and white at the end of the day. You
well,
know
no,
what I
but
mean?
but when I say they're better, I mean on average, dude. Right. On average. Sure, you'll get feminine men and masculine females, but I'm saying on average, dude. Right. Plus, there's studies that show that like women who get married before 30 are a lot happier than when they go for a career or some shit, right, in their life. So I'm not.
I think relationships are important for everyone,
Yes, I do agree with that.
and I think career is important to live because without a career, you don't have
Right.
money. And
So
without money,
that's
you're
why
fucked.
I believe for a man, career is more important because when he gets that career, he can find a woman who will nurture their relationship and they can grow together.
I think relationship is important, more important than career for both. Because this is technically not stating just relationships like man and woman. This is relationships with I think like friends, families.
Oh, that's what you meant. I thought by relationship you meant like marriage or like, you know, significant other.
Well, I think relationships is a broad term, not necessarily that. And with that, it's like I think because there's like a lot of different like things I read on and hear online, but there's like a few things that I think could be, you know, related to this, and it's like at the end of the day, nobody like you're not going to be remembered necessarily for how much money you make. You're going to be remembered for the impact on people's lives you had. You know what I mean? It's like when you're at your funeral and you're dead, nobody's gonna care about how much money you made or like what your career was. They're gonna, you know, it's about the relationships you've had with them. That's gonna be remembered.
Well, okay, if we're talking about relationships with people, then yeah, I do believe relationships are more important than career. Right? But I'm saying as more of a what should men strive for in life versus what should women strive for in life type of thing. Right?
I guess, but I think it's just important to do both. So have a good relationship and have a good career, and you'll have a good life. That's it, sir. That was all the unpopular opinions. So we'll end off the episode here. Any final words to end it off today?
Yeah, we went the whole episode and you didn't even like mention my new tracksuit.
Bro, I literally had it in my mind, and then you went on a rant for like 5 minutes, and then I lost focus and I forgot to talk about it. Like I had it, like I think I had it in my mind 3 times. I'm like, oh yeah, I should mention the tracksuit, and then William started talking, and then I forgot, and then I started talking about something. You started ranting. I'm like, oh yeah, fuck, I have to talk about the the thing, and then he started talking again for so long, and then and then I just kept forgetting to mention it. Fuck. Yo, that tracksuit though.
I mean, you know what I'm saying, dude. You know, I can't only come with the black tracksuit. You know, I gotta like spice it up from time to time. You know what I'm saying?
Bro, we should have talked about that. Well, maybe we'll talk about it next week. But man's got some steals at the Adidas store and got some nice drip. So maybe you'll see another outfit next week. So thank you guys for watching Fly Under the Radar, and we'll see you next week, Thursday, 11 a.m. Eastern Standard Time. Peace.